Hello, this is the next video in a playlist that I'm calling General Linear Models Design of Experiments. And we're going to start a series on the balanced incomplete block designs. Now generally I just, I draft my notes, I finalize them, and then that's what I do a video on. But I wanted to show you my notes on the preparation that I go through to create these videos. And so these are my sort of final rough draft notes before I create the final videos. So this is part one on model development. And so, I move things around as I think that they're going to be organized better. And then I start to provide an example, and I end up not liking it, so I scratch it all out. And then I create another example, which I ended up liking. I actually think this is the third example that I provided. And, there's some that I like and don't like. And then there's a couple pages missing here. I start the next series on the column spaces of the design matrix. And I go through a whole, video edit, or what I think I'm going to use. And I don't like it. I end up throwing the previous page out and I cross, and then I start over here, and I end up not liking it, but then the next video I created, I ended up liking it, so I put this in it. And this is just the follow-up for part two. Then we go into perpendicular projection matrices, and then that's the end of part two. On part three, deriving the least squares estimates, I give some background on least squares, and then I start right in from balanced incomplete block designs. And then I start going through the video. And then as I get to the back side, I think, man, I need some more background. So I have to insert some more from page 2, which ends up being here. So I move that to page 2. And then that's the end of part 3. And then part 4, we look at the sum of squares error and the partial F test. So we go through this, and this ends up being pretty straightforward. I run out of space, so I have to put it on the top. So as you follow this, it's interesting to see the final notes versus my drafts. Now part 5 actually was not part 5. I started in on this, which is estimability and treatment contrast, and orthogonal contrast. I wanted to make it one video, and it just became too long, and then had to introduce special notation and certain properties. And so then it became advantageous that I just had to create another video, which is I'm going to call notation and properties for later. And so then we introduce what's called a double index notation. And there's a lot I decide, and I move, and there's arrows going up and down, put it here, put it there, and I can't quite decide. I end up doing this, and then more notation. I go through an example that we're going to need. Part 6 is estimability and contrast. The video became too long, and so I started thinking about what I can cut out. So I cut this piece out, and I'll put it for later. Here's more part 6. Move things around. And part 7 is we partition the sum of squares for treatment with orthogonal contrast. It ends up being 2 pages. Yep. Well, that's all I have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. This is the part that I moved from part 6 to this one. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Please like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks. Bye.